What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, today in America, there's a lot of concerning things going on, obviously. Everybody can see it. But one of the biggest concerns that I've noticed is how extreme viewpoints, radical viewpoints, if that's what you want to call them, are now seeming to become moderate. We've reached a point where the average person can no longer simply accept continuing down the path and doing things the way we've always done them, because everyone can see and it's clearly obvious that it's simply not working anymore. It's not helping anybody. It's not giving any of the results that people are looking for on any sides of the aisle, if that's what you want to call it. But the only people that are benefiting are the ultra elites, the extremely wealthy, and everyone else, regardless of what you believe or want, you're not getting it. And your life is getting harder and harder each and every day, month, and year that goes by. And we're starting to see that people that 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago would be deemed as extremists or radicals are now garnering major support on each side by the public. Maybe not by the media, maybe not by their parties or any sort of establishment organization, but by the voters, by the everyday people. They are garnering major support, specifically in the youth. And I think that this is a unique trend that's happening nationwide. I mean, it's happening on a global scale. Even other countries, this is happening. As people are starting to wake up and realize that the way things have always been ran, the way that the system has been operating, has not been to benefit them. And it has not benefited them in a very long time. People my age in our 20s, it's never benefited us. And you're starting to see now that regardless of what you support, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, the people that are deemed by the media to be the extremists, the radicals, are actually, in a lot of ways, becoming the moderates. They're garnering the support from the voters, from the public, because they're the ones that are actually proposing and wanting solutions to help the everyday person. The moderates, the adults in the room, as has been termed relatively recently, they are not actually providing any solutions to help us, to help the everyday person, to help the working class, they're not listening to any of our issues. They're blatantly ignoring them. And when you look at the current administration, which a lot of people on the right voted for President Trump because they thought and they believed that he was actually going to come in and do what a lot of working class people wanted. Obviously, not everybody. He doesn't have the support of everybody. And I mean, personally, I did not vote in the latest election. I didn't vote for either side. I didn't really think either side was going to offer anything that helped me and where I currently am in my life. And now that idea is being reinforced. A year into his term, everyone is starting to realize that he's not doing the things he said he was going to do. Or if he is doing them, it's not to the degree that they actually wanted. Prime example, he said in his campaign that he wasn't going to tax overtime. And he is still taxing overtime. Instead, he's simply giving people a tax deduction when they file taxes once a year. So your tax return check will be bigger once a year, but the rest of the year you're paying the same amount of taxes on that time. That's just one example. Another one, no interest on car loans made in it from vehicles made in America. That's only, however, for new vehicles that are made in America. And when the average cost of a new car in 2025 is $50,000, nobody can afford that anyways, regardless of if you're able to deduct your interest again one time a year. That one check in the spring is not going to help you for the rest of the year. And when the average cost of a car payment is $750 a month, it's just not enough. And it seems like, regardless of the which side of the aisle you're on, the establishment, the people that have been in power for a very long time, they're throwing us peanuts while lining their pockets, doing things to benefit them and their donors or other countries that are not even America. And it's starting to wake people up, specifically the youth. As their lives continue to get harder, the cost of everything continues to go up. The average age of a first-time homebuyer is 40 years old. Okay? I'm not even close to 40 years old. And, I totally understand why it is that age. When the average cost of a home is $400,000, but the median income is like $60,000, there's a big discrepancy there. And you're starting to see people, they're leaning towards what the media deems as radical, as extremists, because these people are actually speaking to them. They're speaking to them and saying, we will do this for you. Now, whether or not those ideas are good, whether or not those ideas actually work, most of them will not, and most of them are not that good ideas on either side. People are turning towards that because they are actually speaking to them and their everyday issues. Prime example, look at the Democratic mayor up in New York, Zoran Mamdani. He won, and he won huge with the youth. And some of his ideas are very radical ideas. Rent control, free grocery stores, free public transportation, etc. Are these ideas going to work? More than likely not. It's going to lead to increased taxes, which is going to make people more poor. Free grocery stores, for example, will probably lead to lower quality food, less items, and more theft. And it's the odds of these things actually benefiting people and turning out the way that they sound are very low. But he's speaking to the everyday person and understanding what bothers them, what they care about, and he is getting the votes. And I do not see this trend stopping anytime soon. And for better or worse, I think this needs to happen. The old guard needs to be gotten rid of. Because the way things have been going, it's not good enough. It isn't helping us, and it hasn't for a very long time. And I think that we are going to see a shift in this country for better or worse. And me personally, my personal opinion is I think pain is coming before benefit is coming. Can we turn things around? Can we make things better? Absolutely. But for the average person, the everyday person, I think there is going to be a significant amount of pain required to make that change happen. Which is why I tell people, secure skills, secure, stable, reliable employment or a business of some kind. Save your money, build an emergency fund, have a backup, have their things to fall back on, money, cash to fall back on, because as things get shaken up and they continue to, it's going to lead to a tumultuous time, and a lot of people are going to struggle. A lot of people already are struggling. We still have 3 years left under the current administration, and the amount of things that have happened in 1 year that has not helped anybody. The government shut down. They're cutting subsidies for Medicare, Medicaid, and the Affordable Care Act. Most people's health insurance premiums have been and are going to continue to skyrocket. They're not going to be able to have health insurance. People are dropping it left and right. People are being evicted. People are voluntarily repossessing their cars or having them repossessed. Car repossessions are going through the roof. Debt defaults are going through the roof. A lot of people are simply not able to pay, and they just won't pay their student loans. People's credit scores are being wrecked, and it's going to affect their lives for years, if not decades, into the future. Do not be one of those people. And the only way to make sure that you're not is you have to protect yourself. If you can work overtime, if you can make extra money, if you can save money, do it now while you can, because there may be a time in the very near future when you can't. The Federal Reserve has started to cut interest rates because they have no other choice. If they keep interest rates high, nobody can afford to take out debt. If they cut interest rates, then inflation is simply going to skyrocket even higher than what it already is. They're in a catch-22 position. And the people that are going to suffer the most are the everyday people, the working class. And that is why they are turning to these people that are on the extremes of each side. You've got people like Zoran Mamdani on the left. You've got people like Nick Fuentes on the right. And they're both young, they're charismatic, and they are drawing attention. They are drawing views, and they are capturing the youth for better or worse. And I think this trend is only just getting started. As you see, they gave, the public, the country, they gave Donald Trump a chance. And he has, in a lot of people's eyes, let them down. And it makes me somewhat worried for what is coming in 2028. Because there is going to be someone that has to fill that spot. And the odds of it being a moderate now are slim to none, in my opinion. You have the old guard, Nancy Pelosi, stepping down, retiring, moving on. And now there is going to be a new generation and a new wave of leaders in this country. And if the trend continues, and the trend is your friend, in investing and in life, the trend is your friend, and if it continues, we are going to become more polarized, and we are going to pull further and further from the middle. That being said, continue to save your money, continue to plan ahead and protect yourself and your family. Drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know, what do you think? What do you want to see from our leaders, from our politicians? What do you need to have done to help benefit your life? And until next time, I hope you all have a great day and stay blessed.